We begin with an alarming story about rising death rates among white adults. WSJ's special writer Betsy McKay joins us now to discuss. Thanks for being here, Betsy.
Thanks for having me.
As you point out in your piece, this trend is shocking. What is driving the uptick in deaths?
Well, this is a really interesting study, and it follows on some work done about a year and a half ago by the same two economists at Princeton, which found that mortality was rising. Set out to figure out a couple of things. One, how widespread was that problem? And secondly, what might be driving it? So what they found in their new paper is that mortality is rising not just for middle-aged Americans, but for Americans between 25 and 64. Mortality rise in a developed nation is very, very unusual, and our mortality rates have been declining for decades.
Right.
They posit a hypothesis which is really interesting. They examined a ton of data, economic data, health data, from national sources, and what they believe is going on is that less opportunity for advancement, and at the same time there are a lot of social trends: decline in marriage, more cohabitation, more children born out of wedlock, more social isolation, families aren't stable.
These deaths of despair, especially with the opioid crisis we've seen in America, they believe are leading more white adults to die younger. Is that correct?
That's correct. And they do point out that these trends were underway before the opioid epidemic took off. I mean, opioids were really introduced in the 90s, and the epidemic has kind of taken off in the 2000s, whereas changes were starting to occur, before the mid-90s. But the opioid epidemic has definitely accelerated it. And then on top of that, you have alcohol-related liver diseases, and you have suicide. Suicide and opioids are often tied. It's hard to tell sometimes whether a drug overdose was intentional or accidental.
Right. All right. Thank you, Betsy, for joining us.
Thank you.